What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for week 4 of building Cato Neimoidia. Week 4 is a pretty big deal. That means I have been working on Cato Neimoidia for 1 month now. And in that month, I'd say I've gotten pretty good progress done. It really helped that I had so much of the dark tan already from Utapau and a lot of that filler brick. So instead of ordering a bunch of parts like you typically do at the beginning of a mock project, I was just able to get going and start building. This week I'm going to be tackling more of that far side of the rock work. I know the end of last week I kind of had like a rough outline for you guys, maybe like a little bit of building. This week I would like to get that rock work to be as high as the other side, basically match it height for height. And then I do also have a cool little, I don't want to say side project, but it's going to be a side build in the mock. One thing I really wanted to do with Cato Neimoidia was make sure that I made the rock work as interesting as I could, and to help spice up each individual building episode so you're not watching just the same repetitive thing. I'm going to be adding little builds into the sides of the cliff, and this week I'm going to be working on like a little guard room slash maintenance room. It's going to be really cool. It's got some piping running out along the cliff wall, as well as some Lego lights. All in all, it should be a really exciting week, and I look forward to a lot of progress. It's time to start building. I'll be starting out this week, like I said, just tackling that rock work on the far side. I want to get a lot of it done. I really, the beginning of rock work is the hardest for me. I think I've talked about this multiple times, but it's like trying to figure out that base pot pattern and like that base shape that you're going to, match for the rest of the build and kind of replicate over and over again needs to be chosen fairly quickly. And so that's why I want to get this done and stop procrastinating it. I am using that last large chunk of Utapau to put this together, so it's kind of nice killing two birds with one stone. As you guys can see in this time lapse, I'm simultaneously taking that section apart and building this section of the rock work. Once I can get both sides connected, it's going to go a lot quicker because I can kind of just look at what's already been done. And the base can't be changed ever, so it's kind of intimidating to know like once I put that base down, I can't go back and change it later because it's on the bottom of the mountain. There's no way to change that. So definitely going to try and make this bottom part look as good as I can. Show you what progress I've made on this rock wall, as well as show you probably the coolest thing I've built so far since starting Cato Neimoidia, and that's this little room that I'm working on. So you can see what we've got here is a couple of pipes, kind of like, I don't know, just some kind of random pipes that are going to be transporting something from down below on the planet's surface up into the mountain to Cato Neimoidia somewhere nearby. I don't know. It's not too important. They're mostly just meant to be cool little Easter eggs. And I've got this dark orange plate in different sections on the pipes, as well as this little piece right here. And this is just to signify rust. I figured, since these things are at such a high altitude, I'm sure, there's going to be some kind of rust and corrosion on there. So let me know what you guys think of these little techniques. Also, do you think I should add more, or do you think this is a pretty good amount? I got kind of like the general idea or inspiration from these pipes from a fellow YouTuber by the name of Robonut03. He builds some incredible mocks. Like, I would highly recommend checking him out. But he did one, and I was looking at kind of like the pillars he did when he built it, and I was like, oh wow, those are like really cool. I just loved the shape and the angle he kind of captured. So I did something similar. I didn't copy it exactly. Tried to put a little bit of my own unique take or spin on it, but he definitely gets the credit for the inspiration for those. I do think they turned out pretty good. They are kind of square, but some pipes are kind of square, kind of like air vents and other HVAC pipes. So these pipes lead into this room right here, or this tunnel. You can see the gray piping running along flush with the floor. And then in here I've got like a little computer. This is just meant to like regulate and monitor the pipes. And you can probably see it's a little dark and hard to see in here, so I added a cool little light right there on the side. That's just powered by this little battery pack. I just thought this would be really fun because people were saying they wanted to see an Easter egg, like some kind of rooms in the mountains. So I came up with this cool idea to have like a maintenance tunnel right here. So this light is going to be lighting up the maintenance tunnel from this end. And then back here, we're going to have a larger kind of like break or guard room. I'm going to have a bunch of like Neimoidian guards back here just chilling, hanging out, doing random stuff. Kind of like, they're just on shifts because someone's got to be manning this area at all times. So I'm going to have a second room right here with a hallway leading back off in this direction, kind of giving the illusion that like it connects into this tunnel right here. But both of them are going to be blocked off by a black wall just to kind of simulate, the tunnel goes off into darkness. This will be lit up over here too. but I'm just really happy with how this turned out. I feel like it looks pretty good. I will be covering this off, turning it into a little cave in the future. So moving on to the rock wall, you can see I made a lot of progress on here. I connected it all the way from one end to the other, so it's complete all the way across. Now I just need to start building up and just staying with the patterns. It's going to look pretty similar to the other side. I tried to mirror it as best I could. I feel like this one is a little bit more flat in the center area and it's got a lot more slopes over here, but that's kind of because, you know, this section juts back that way, then juts over here, whereas this section just runs until it meets the edge of the mock. So I think it kind of makes sense that you would see more angled slopes and kind of like a more angular look to the rock. Here's another little look down here at this end. I feel like I'm really starting to get more comfortable with building rock work that's kind of flat instead of the slopes facing forward. They're facing to the side and, you know, kind of working with angled slopes. Basically, it's like imagine taking a lot of different shapes of rock slabs and then slapping them together. So you've got all different kinds of shapes this way, but everything's flat that way. I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like this is a good route to go when building tall sheer cliff walls like this. That's pretty much everything I have to update you guys with. I am going to get back to work, and when I've got more to show you, we'll check back in. All right, it's haul time. I am very, very excited for this bricklink haul. I got so many good parts in here. I got everything nice and bundled up in all of this bubble wrap for some reason. But the first package, or first little tidbit, the first little group is going to be some filler brick, wings or wedge plates for the acclimator, some dark blue, I guess some dark blue. This is going to be used for a vehicle in Cato Neimoidia. I think a lot of you guys will probably be able to figure out what that is pretty quickly. And then, of course, trans clear studs. These are going to be like a mainstay for the next 8 months to a year, most likely in bricklink orders. And then some smaller, just like greebling pieces and stuff like that for the acclimator, as well as more dark blue for that build for Cato Neimoidia, and then some dark green. I've had some people suggest sprinkling dark green in with that olive green, and I think that it might actually look pretty good, so I might try it out. Next, I've got 2 cockpit pieces. This will probably definitely give it away if you haven't already guessed it for that build. It's going to be a Wolfpack modified gunship, so the M5 build with the old Wolfpack version. I'm very excited for that. Got some more filler brick, more parts for the Wolfpack, and then some more pieces for the acclimator, just turntables, random stuff. A lot of random stuff jumbled together in these, but there were a couple of things in particular that I wanted to show you guys, and that is these 2 wolf heads. So I'm going to put these on the gunship. I just thought it would be cool to like add a little bit of a twist to the gunship, and I got these like, I think these are from the Chima line. Some wolf heads, so I'm going to try mounting these on the gunship somewhere. I thought that would look so cool. And then we do have more dark tan, light bluish gray, and then I picked up a couple of white legs with black hips for some decaling. That wraps up the haul. Very excited. I got a huge influx of parts for basically every single project I'm working on right now. I did also want to show you these 442nd Troopers I decaled. So I did these 3 last night on a live stream, and I must say they're probably the best ones I've done so far. Definitely improved a lot and gotten a lot better at decaling. And I did also use the matte sealant instead of the gloss, and I like that finish a lot better. It's just less shiny and it dries much quicker, and I feel like gives the Clone Troopers more of the look that I'm going for. This guy right here is one of the first 442nd Troopers I decaled. You can see his helmet and stuff is a little bit shinier than these. Another thing I wanted to point out was on Jonak's website, he actually sells light green arms. You can see these right here. I don't know if these come in Lego sets or not, because up until now I've actually been using these that are actually just a tad bit darker. And the thing I don't like about the darker ones that I have been using is they don't match the decals quite as well as these. You can see the arms match almost perfectly with the decals on the bodies and helmets of these clones, whereas this guy over here, you can see it is a little bit darker. It's not that noticeable. Like, I'll probably leave these arms on this guy, but moving forward, I'm definitely going to go with these lighter ones that I got from Jonak. That wraps up another week of building Cato Neimoidia. Here's a finished look at all the rock work I was able to get done. Very happy with this rock work. I think it looks better than the first mountain. The first mountain I felt like was more sloped and a little bit more slanted. I feel like this second one is much flatter, much more reminiscent of what a cliff face would actually look like. And you can really see the practice coming into play here, just like playing with different techniques, figuring out what's looking the best. At the tallest, this cliff is almost 12 inches tall. I think I'm probably gonna go for about 15 inches before I start putting in the large section where the city is gonna hang from. So I'm starting to get closer to where that's gonna be. Hopefully within the next week or two, I should be able to hit that. Here's a look at the finished cave or cavern that I was building. I put the roof on it, and I'm gonna finish working on the ceiling next week. I wanna put some, inverted slopes on the top there, just so the top of that ceiling isn't so flat and doesn't meet the cave wall at a 90-degree like that. It'll be more of an angled look, but I'm very happy with how it looks. Definitely looks like a cave to me, and I'm happy with how deep I was able to go on it as well. One thing I was concerned was that light would be too bright in there, but I feel like it's just the right amount of light, because something like this, it would be something old, some kind of old dim light bulb, so it wouldn't give off the best light. It might flicker a little bit, be like that yellow light that you see on in a factory or a base or some kind of compound. So I was able to match that aesthetic pretty nicely. I hope you guys enjoyed week 4 of building Cato Neimoidia. I really did. I am very happy with the progress that was made, and I feel like I set myself up to have a pretty good week next week. I'm going to be probably jumping back over to that other cliff area. I kind of want to alternate week to week. That way I don't get too much work done on each one, and I want them to kind of build at the same rate. And I will also be starting to do some serious cloud work. Last time you guys saw the clouds, I was really just putting down a flat row of studs, but what I want to start doing now is create some kind of shapes and show you guys what exactly that terrain is going to look like. So I ordered in a lot of trans clear bricks to do so. So that'll all be next week. That wraps up this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.